Colored people time. What's up? What's up? We are here. A little bit late, but you know how we do. All right, it's your guy Tyrone, aka Mr. Chocolate. Back at you. It's Wednesday. It's 9-ish, and we are live. I got the big homie, Black Pearl. What's going on, madam?
Hey. Hi, everyone.
All right. All right, so we got Coach Tay. We got two of the favorites back. We got two of the heavy hitters. Coach Tay. We got Miscommunication. She is ready to talk. I'm telling y'all. She was talking. Can't say we was talking about, but we were talking. All right. And we got a special guest. All right. We got Mr. Daryl Long. What's going on, brethren?
How are you guys doing this evening? Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure. Thanks for coming.
You guys have a beautiful panel. Very chocolate.
Oh yeah. That's what we do. Nice little chocolate panel. You know what I'm saying? So what's been going on? So what's the word on these in these streets? Miscommunication. What's going on in the streets?
What's going on in the street? I told you I'm not for the streets anymore, but
oh, you got rescued too?
I'm not for the streets, but I will say that this summer I will be in the streets. I won't be for the streets, but I will be in the streets. I will be every.
Is that a play on words?
Yes. So I will be. So I will definitely be at every rooftop bar, every festival, or I'm gonna be outside. Every concert, I'm gonna be outside. Because I'm feeling
outside.
With or without someone, because I didn't catch the first part. Like I feel like you glazed over that.
What I'm not in the show. I'm not.
She's not for the streets.
Answer my question.
I'm gonna be in the streets, but I'm not gonna be fun. But I'm not for the streets. You know what I mean? Like
you saying the same thing. I ain't getting no different answer. Yes, you gonna be with somebody or no?
Oh, are you gonna be with?
The question is, have you been rescued from the streets like somebody?
No.
Okay. I thought you was leaving me, sis, all out here by my lonesome.
No, girl, we in this together. We're gonna ride this.
I was like, damn. Oh, thought I was by myself. Okay.
What up, Through the Fire podcast? What's happening?
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for watching.
All right. Yo, what up, Simp God Clips?
Oh, that's
happening.
That's Daryl's folks. What up, Simp God?
All right. Hey, Tate, update you. Have you been rescued from the streets? Have you been going over the shoulder?
I'm still very much so in the streets. Now, I'm not thrilled about it, okay, to be honest. I'm not thrilled about it because if you know, you know, right?
But get you rescued.
Yeah, pray for me.
I know Black Pearl. I think Black Pearl, she's been rescued. They thrown over the shoulder.
So happy for
you out of them streets. Congratulations to you, madam.
Love some love. We love some love.
I'm like, how did I get into this conversation?
How you get flashed?
Because you in the conversation.
Okay. I'm not throwing over anyone's shoulder, but I am not in the streets. Is that better? Because I feel so Wilma Flintstone when you say
throw me over your shoulder.
Are you
look, hey, see, don't fight it. Look, Tay, you out here trying to downplay and Tay like
me, okay.
Are you dating this summer? Miscommunication. I don't mean to interrupt. I heard you said you're going to be out here having fun, going to concerts, living your best life, looking beautiful.
Yes.
Are you like going to be dating this summer, or you just living your best life yourself solo?
No,
not asking for myself. Just starting conversation. Just starting conversation.
Oh, okay. No, honestly, I just feel as though for a long time I've been kind of like in the house, right? And it's like I'm ready to put on. Listen, I lost some weight. I'm ready to put on some dresses. I'm ready to put on some shorts. I'm ready to be outside. Yes. You know what I mean? Like it's time to bless the people with my presence. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, that's what we saying.
You know what I mean? Like that part. And if I find somebody, hey,
If somebody finds you,
So what's your intention? Your intention is just to be about the streets, or to maybe end the summer retiring your street life? Maybe that's a
Wow.
Damn, she said street life like.
Wow. I'll say
Damn.
this. What's for me will be for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
that's all there is. If it's
it's a to be determined.
Yeah, that part.
the way you not answering the question though.
Yes,
I mean,
honey.
usually I'm so like very forthcoming. But I will say this: I don't want to say anything that might block my blessings out here in this universe.
Well, maybe you need to manifest it. Let's look in them.
Oh wow, this show is straight. I thought we were talking about something else today.
See, we got your ass. See, you talking about
I was want to come over here on Wednesdays. I said my watch.
We are tripping over. We've been kind of rude though, man. We normally ask, man, Daryl, yo,
Yes,
you're a new guest, man. You ain't been here. Tell the people about yourself, where they can see you and all that good stuff. We're so rude, getting in her business.
It's okay. I enjoy a good conversation. I've been in YouTube for far too long. I actually so my name is Daryl Long, ladies. I go by the Simp God these days. I started off in the manosphere sector immediately, right? Way before they start focusing on women, when it was more self-improvement of men. What are you doing better to actually go and get the woman that you feel like you deserve? Instead of asking this woman to actually lower her standards, are you going to just meet her where she's at, right? Do you even have a structure to bring this woman into? Is your life structure, is your mental health on point? How is your communication? So it's just a lot of different things I was working on, and other men were too. And then it shifted from that to making money off pretty much shitting on Black women, and I'm not really a part of that. And despite that being very profitable, it's kind of draining in my opinion. So I got out of that realm, and the men started to really consider me a simp, and I kind of just enjoyed it. It's like, it is what it is.
So did they? I've seen this in that space. I've kind of looked here. I'm not on that, so I couldn't really handle too much of it. But I've seen when people kind of get away from it, they attack them, call them a simp, and like just go in on with this. So you had that experience yourself?
Yeah, I did. And it's nothing. There's no reason to bring up any content creators' names, because it's all fun and competitive and stuff like that, right? But ultimately, there are times when, for example, let's talk about like the single moms, right? The men in this space, a lot of them don't have children. The ones that don't have full-time custody of their children. Or they make these arguments that they heard from someone else saying, well, the man can't be there 24/7 anyway if you're a full-time father. Well, you wouldn't know because you're not a full-time father.
Right.
In my situation, I am. Right. So, and I have been with my youngest child for the last 4 years since she's been born. So I started to really, before, when I didn't understand the things that women were talking about as single parents, as I went through it, I started to understand, right? And once I started to make these arguments with the women saying, hey, maybe this is really our fault, right? Maybe when we look at the Black man having the 4th grade reading level, we can't blame single mothers. Maybe when we talk about criminals and crime happening, for example, on my show, I did last weekend in Chicago, 30 people got shot. Are we going to blame it all on single mothers and say that this is single moms' fault, while at the same time telling Black women that we built the country in the patriarchal system that they live in today? I think that, and like, listen, like I said, Mr. Tyrone, I've been here for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
The men, they just refuse to take accountability for their actions and for their results. And while we're in the situations that we're in, whether you're talking about dating, whether you're talking about education, whether you're talking about financial, whether you're talking about career-wise, even your health-wise, how your body look, et cetera, That's the problem that I have with the manosphere.
So it's funny that you bring that up. So do you have strong opinions about the new trending soft guy era, which is what we're here to talk about, where men are saying, not all men, some men, few men, are referring to switching the role and being tired of being the sole provider, and basically what they are being raised to be as men in women's lives. They're saying that women should be that for them in their lives. Do you feel that anything towards that new trending mindset?
I think soft guy era shows again that these black men have no identity and can't think for themselves. So they copy, for example, Shira Seven's famous sprinkle sprinkle and turned that into drizzle drizzle, right? So again, instead of saying that, hey, I want to be treated like a man, they're just copying what you guys are doing. Oh, the women want to go 50-50? Well, fine. We're going 50-50 too. Now you have to pay half of my half of my date. You got to pay for this. This is ridiculous. You know, it's crazy. After they asked miscommunication to go out and pick her up and pick them up in her car and pay for the date too, they still gonna want to dominate her sexually at the end of the night and feel like a man. But you don't want to feel like a man throughout the relationship. You don't want to feel like a man when you're paying for stuff, and you want to be, you want to be treated like a king when you're not a king. And so I think soft guy era, in my opinion, is for, I'm not gonna call them losers because I don't want to use ad hominems, but I will say that I think that though those men are lower tier, that those are the men that do not have access to women for one reason or another, and they're choosing to, I guess, punish women by saying, hey, Black Pearl, you want to go out with Daryl Lawn, you got to pay for my date too, and you got to pay for my gas money. You're going to stay single. You're going to stay single. That's not showing a woman that you can lead. That's not showing her that you can make a plan, create a plan, execute that plan instead of just talking. Right? What that's showing her is that she is going to have to pay for you. You're going to be relying on her. They go 50-50 now on the bills. What happened when you got to get a mortgage? Miscommunication. What happens then? Right? What happens when it's time to open a business? What happens when it's time to take care of the kids? Are you then leading too? It's one thing to have a say in that relationship, but for you to have to lead that, man, I don't think any of y'all want that. I think that's the reason why soft guy era is going to fail. I can see my time.
So could it be more of a men feel that they're missing something in relationships besides being a provider? Could it be that if you feel that all you are is an ATM machine, or you are only as good as what you can provide in a relationship with no, like looking for the same things that women look for? I want to be seen. I want to be valued. I want to be appreciated. Could it be that that is also missing? And that's why some people have jumped on the bandwagon of the soft guy era. It's like, I'd like to be acknowledged for what I am, what I'm doing. And if I'm not acknowledged, then maybe you need to do it.
Well, before you answer, hold that thought, because we got a super chat in. Hey, through the fire, appreciate it. Here's some support for Tyrone and the ladies. I F with y'all. We F with you too, brother.
F with you too. Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
So, I mean, that question, I mean, it's sort of replying or sort of responding to you, Daryl, but anyone can jump in on that.
I feel as though because I mean, like looking into the topic or whatever, one of the things that I realize is that this obviously, there's some people who are actually serious and there's some people who are joking. Based on what you're saying, like, yes, everybody who's in a relationship would like their partner to acknowledge them in, what one way or another, especially for the things that they've done. So in other words, you want them to give you respect. You want them to show you that they care. You want these things. Absolutely. I think that the one thing that we have been walking away from in all of the stuff that's going on in general is that you can't have both. You can't, as one of our, former guests have said, D-Rod the poet, I'm shouting you out because he told me if I don't shout him out about this, he's going to be pissed. But he said a lot of people are using a la carte mentality for for things that they are, they've learned through their lives. In other words, in a relationship, they are using, they might say, oh, I want a traditional relationship, but not traditional in this way. I want, my wife to be more, I want to be more domineering, but not in this way. I want to take care of home, but not like that. So it's almost like they're like, picking and choosing the parts of, traditional roles or whatever, and saying parts that they want and parts that they don't want. And that's fine. But with that comes some sort of consequence.
Well, it also sounds like a coward's approach to accountability.
100%. Like you want me to treat you like a king, but then you want me to take care of you. And most of the time, it's not even so much take care of you like physically, it's take care of you monetarily. You want me to come out of my pocket and take care of you.
Yeah, it's the value that you're providing to that person, and it's not always financial. But I really feel like I get the part that it was like a joke, and people, oh, this is how silly y'all sound. But do we? Because I mean, those are the real expectations. Like, we expect you to take care of us because y'all still caught up on the role. Like, right? We just, it's a man's world. We just living in it, okay? And we just navigating. So my thing is, if you're, I just expect a man to lead, period. I don't expect to be him expecting me to pay 50-50. Now, if I offer and you take it, and that's cool, but that's on me. But your expectation is to be to pay for that whole thing when we sitting down, eating, drinking, and having a merry time, okay? As a man, if you're dating me, I expect you to do certain things, just like you as a woman, as your woman, you have certain expectations for me. But I really feel like we're getting lost in these roles because roles aren't the same anymore. This is 2024, okay? And women ain't built the way they were built back then. They make them a little different these days.
And neither are the men. Let's be clear.
And so are the men. But
men are not built the way they used to.
Elaborate on that. How are the men built different?
Well, I'll just say mindset-wise, mentally. Like, there was a certain way a man went about his life, right? Like in the 1920s versus right now. You'll never hear a man say, oh, you finna go 50-50, or you got this time, boo, or what in the 19 whatevers, right? Because that just wasn't expected. Because women we weren't working. Things were different. Life was different.
Well, they took pride in being.
Not true. That's not true. Oh, wait, hold on.
We're not working as much. Let me take that back. I'm saying just in terms of the roles and historically how we've played that role of being taken care of, where really all the power is in submission.
Listen, back in the day,
because if you really look at like black households back then, especially, I know I'm a Southern dude, so you had a lot of mothers would take care of white women's kids with nannies and shit like that. Like they worked. My grandma worked on a military base, so like it wasn't like they did work. So it was always, they did contribute because motherfuckers were poor. Right. So everybody had to work. It wasn't people being taken care of back then.
But I think that it what comes down to is this: back then, and I mean not even so much back then. I'm not even talking about the 20s. So let's talk about 1984. Let's talk about 1984, something recent. Men literally, the provide, protect, and profess. That was part of who you were. That was almost like you were proud.
Still some men out
there. That woman, you proud that you was taking care of that family. You proud that you was, you were proud of that. And now it's like there's no pride in that no more. It's like people are not proud to take care of your family or your woman.
Let me challenge that thought. So maybe the soft guy, or can you see that maybe some of the soft guy era is still a lack of accountability, but accountability that you're not taking the time out to pick the right woman. You're picking the easier woman, and then so you are in a neglectful, maybe toxic, lacking, not like you're in a relationship that doesn't have give and take. And so instead of saying I'm choosing the wrong women or I'm attracted to the wrong type of woman, the one that does not provide me peace, the one that does not balance me out, I'm going to say my role as a man needs to be switched and this woman needs to give it to me. Could it be that?
100%. And it could be, and we can even go further. We can even go further. The craziest thing is that the men who choose these type of women are choosing these type of women based mostly on something that's superficial to begin with, right?
Or temporary, like sex.
Right. So you're choosing a woman who is not of, of what they would consider, what you would consider, I guess you want to say quality or whatever you want to call it. And then you're saying to her, well, I need you to take care of me. I need you to send me money for a haircut and put gas in my car and open my car door. What is happening here?
One time. So you're saying, because I'm trying to, because I ain't no fucking soft guy. I don't know nothing about this.
What's wrong with treating your guy?
I'm here to learn tonight. So you're saying soft guys, they're guys, instead of like paying for the nails and hair, they want the haircut.
Yes,
they want to be provided for. They want the door open for them. They want to be pursued and chased.
They're feminine.
And, when the bill comes, they want you to take the bill and say, and they want to slide. No, they don't just want you to take the bill and say, "Baby, I got this." They want to be able to slide the bill over to you and say,
"They're not going to touch it."
All right, so my question is, who is this working with? Like, what women are? Is this like a what's the number? Is this just some shit that's gaslighting people?
I can't tell you.
Is this like the actual thing?
From personal experience, I couldn't tell you, Mr. Chocolate, but from what I've heard, it's not working so well for these guys out here.
I imagine not, because all I hear women talk about is needing money and shit, needing materialistic stuff. So who would the soft guys be getting?
That's what they said. A woman of a certain quality. A woman of a certain quality is not going to date a guy that would even consider that as something in their head for real.
But don't get me wrong. I don't think it's anything wrong with treating your man. Okay, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying, "Hey, babe, I got it this time," or whatever. It's on me. Don't worry about it. Right? That ain't what we're talking about. We're talking about this man expects you to take care of him, and that's always been my thing.
But he's not gonna renounce or put aside his "I'm the head." That's the problem.
I mean,
the responsibility.
How can you be the head if I'm just so it's so confusing. It's already confusing because the roles are switched up. We don't want to play the roles that are there already. So it's like now you want to do some other shit. You're just trying to be funny about it, and now it's done taken off. It's a real thing, and guys are really expecting that. But I just not for me because it's already slim pickings out here, and then y'all just put yourself in another pool of like unavailable men. So it's like, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
I agree. That's all those men did in my eyes. That's the way I look at it. See, Mr. Chocolate, can we have a genuine conversation? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
A lot of the men that are genuinely moving in this soft guy era, they ignore, in my opinion, the things that women like. Right, like they ignore and talking about in themselves, right? Instead of you actually leaning on your intelligence to maybe she enjoyed good conversations, right? There's so many different things that you can lean into to actually get a woman to be interested in you. But the fact that you're going to tell her, like, I would never go to, let's say, Black Pearl and say, in order for you to date me, you got to pay for my chicken and my fries the first day, and you got to buy my drinks and you got to pay for my gas. You got to reciprocate. You know what I'm saying? And then, next time, it don't really work like that. And I think that in my time, while we have these conversations online, men tell women that they want them to be traditional, right? You should be cooking. You should be cleaning. You should never deny me sex. That's damn near a sin, right? The Bible said you should be having sex with me, right? So they would tell these women be traditional, but then turn around and be modern men. This is a modern concept that we're discussing tonight. Right. To Miscommunication's point, when we were younger and even our parents were dating and falling in love, this wasn't a conversation. The conversation was, can this man provide? Right? Because love isn't enough. I can love all three of these women at a different point in time in my life. Right? Plenty of men have 3 or 4 different baby mamas. You're looking at one of them. Right? Looking at somebody who understand that You can love somebody at one point in time, but it's not enough. You still need to. That woman needs to be secure in the fact that if everything goes south, you're going to be able to provide for her. The roof is not going to collapse. The lights are not going to be off. She's not going to starve while submitting herself under your provision. I think that's one of the issues that men have, because like I said earlier, he's undoubtedly going to ask you guys for sex, right? Undoubtedly, all three of y'all know that. If a man is attracted to y'all, he's going to date with y'all. What do y'all think he wants? Initially, when we first see you, we see miscommunication. We see chocolate skin. We see beautiful lips. Same thing for Black Pearl. And Coach Tay, she's extremely gorgeous. So my whole thing is we will be filled with lust.
You good. You all right. What, like,
he need to come back more often.
I try to be honest with them because, listen, I could be a menace. I'm trying to be a good guy right now. You know what I mean?
We got no HR around here. Do your thing.
I appreciate that, then. But I think a lot of men will get a lot further with women if they just put the responsibility on themselves to better themselves and have a healthy communication. But the whole soft guy era it starts off on a bad leg. Like, to me, that's like asking a girl for head. There's certain things you just don't do in communication with women, right? And if you
off the rip, he's saying.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Off the rip, he's saying. He's not saying like in general.
It's just not natural.
Flag if they off the rip.
Natural, bro.
Thanks, it was nice. But yeah.
Yeah, and if she says, yeah, you don't want her, that's not the way you want it. She says, yes.
But there are some men that do have those expectations that, well, if I'm paying for Coach Tay and I to go out for a steak dinner at the end of the night, she don't want to have sex with me. She don't want to go back upstairs and watch a movie with me. There are men, I'm pretty sure y'all all experience that.
I know a few. Or have known a few.
But that's like a quid pro quo type situation where you give me something, I give you something. And that's the problem. The problem is nowadays people are just doing that when they're going out on dates. It's like, I give you something, you give me something. Now we're not really trying to get to know each other that well. It's just this and that. And we're going to give each other. That is where the problem is going to lie on a regular basis. It's like people out here are dating women are going out on dates because they're hungry. They're not going out on dates now.
No doubt. I hear that a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to get a meal.
Right. They're going on dates because they're hungry and they want a meal.
Mm-hmm. You treating them.
That's what I was saying. Is this rise because we're not taking the time to find a quality partner? We're getting caught up. You
already know that the answer is absolutely yes.
Well, we're the women. I'm asking the men. We're the women. The reason why I'm saying that is we are constantly in a state of making permanent decisions for temporary situations and then get mad when we got to deal with the consequences.
Well, the thing about that is, and you know what, I find that this is what, and I'm so sorry, I don't want to do this, but I have to in my head a little bit, and I've been trying not to say it. I've been saying this for weeks now, but I feel as though sometimes people are literally walking around here being very freaking delusional about what is really going on around here. Delusional. It's the Fred Flintstone Wilma, Fred Flintstone Wilma. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like this delusionalness going on out here.
What's the delusion then?
The delusion is you deserve something very specific based on absolutely nothing. There's what's that word called? Give me a second. Now, when you think you deserve something and you haven't, what is that called? Entitlement. Listen, I was at work all day. I'm sorry, guys. But it's like the entitlement of certain situations. It's like, I don't know who taught young men that if I take you on a date, your legs must spread. I don't know.
I'm gonna say some of it is the women who have spread.
Not even that. I've encountered somebody recently from my past, right? From my past, I ain't heard from in years, but ran into lately. And then you like, he had certain expectations. I'm like, I don't even know you anymore.
Oh, he never clapped before?
He has. Yes, he has.
Oh, okay. But some guys have that delusion that they can always clap.
You're delusional. It's been years. I don't, and she don't even know you anymore. right?
Listen, oh,
So
what they say, oh, please don't open
Well,
up new doors.
audacity of you to even think it's a possibility just because once you've been fortunate enough that you about to be fortunate enough again after it's been years since I've heard from you. The fucking entitlement.
So do you feel that's what drives this expectation that the role should be reversed for men? Because men, so I hear you,
feel like they deserve it.
Yes, I hear you, Tay. And of course I echo those beliefs, like, hey, I haven't seen you in forever. You're not entitled to any parts of my body. Right. But you are not the average woman at this time. because there's someone feeding into the delusion.
But I am the average woman because my finger's still fucking empty.
Damn.
So it sounds good in theory, but in practice, they ain't like y'all ain't. That's what I'm saying. Like I hear what y'all saying.
Yeah.
Wait, y'all ain't talking about none.
But you're also saying your finger's empty in a world where women think that getting on the level of I'll just give you some ass and move on is enough also. So then why are we mad at men for thinking that all they can do is give you some dick, make you feel good, hoot and holler and move on? Like, think about it.
I'm not just like you said, I'm not that woman though. Okay. I'm not that woman. I think that's apparent. I don't know. I can't really tell, but I hope.
Well, they'd have to get to know you first.
But there's a lot of, but
they're not trying to, and that is my quarrel with these dudes out here. Y'all worried about the wrong things. You need to be talking to this girl. What is she talking about? What are her dreams? What are her aspirations? What has she done for somebody else lately? Like y'all worried about the wrong thing.
A lot of these guys don't care about stuff like that, and that's the problem. The problem is it's an instant gratification world. People just want to pour the water in the ramen, stir it up, and eat it. Right?
Well, can I pause y'all for a minute? Can I pause y'all for a minute? Pause. This is our perspective as women, but the perspective that really will balance out what we're assuming are men, right? So the question is, because I know Mr. Chocolate is married. Are you married, Daryl?
I wish. Maybe some.
Manifest it. But when you are in the dating world, when you're in the streets, as Mr. Chocolate says, and Mr. Chocolate, when you were in the street, did you pride yourself in finding a certain type of woman, or were you okay with the easy, quick, less headache version of a woman? I'm asking. It happens.
Nah, well, it's phases of life, of course. There was a time when it was all about the quick and easy, and you keep it pushing. But I don't know. I mean, once I found somebody that I didn't want anybody to have, then I made sure that I secured that, and I've had it for years now. So I mean that's how that worked for me. That's why this soft guys era shit is kind of weird to me, because I just came up in a traditional way where men provided and men just, there was a role that men had. But a lot of this comes from too, like we've kind of muddied the waters of what roles are, and we've kind of now there's no roles, but there are roles. There's roles men naturally have, and roles that women kind of naturally have had. I talk about it all the time. I believe that we should not fight the roles. There's no way I would have somebody just taking care of me as a man. If I did, I wouldn't be acting like King Dingaling later, because that's just not later. That's just not natural. If you're taking care of me, then it's just. To me, I wouldn't
support and say there's a difference between helping someone out and taking care of them, right?
Yeah. So now, there's a natural partnership in the man. Like as a married person, speak on the married perspective. There's partnerships in marriage that's not simply defined like concrete, but overall there's like I don't have my wife out there doing like hours of yard work, like breaking her back. When I'm like the strong dude who can do it, not going to do that. Like women typically tend to be able to run the house better. I don't know what the fuck is going on in the house. Like with everybody administratively, like whose appointment is what. Yeah, ask my wife. She's on top of all of that stuff. Just naturally good at it and just kind of falls into it. But Well, but I'm not like out here like, you know, being a soft dude. Like she ain't just taking care of me, and then I just all of a sudden you submit to me and I'm the boss. I just don't see how that works. I don't know. I'm a traditional guy. I don't see how that works.
So what about a non-married perspective, Daryl?
Can you make sure that you rephrase the question for me? I was listening. But I
Yeah.
was caught up in what Mr. Chocolate was saying, and I had a response to Coach Tay unfortunate situation. But go ahead, please.
Give your response. Go ahead. Go ahead. Give your response. So you said you had a response to Coach Tay, right?
More like an inquiry, but she kind of said it herself.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't want to assume. She said that the young man came back into her life out of nowhere and felt like he could just get access to her intimately, physically, not intimately emotionally, not intimately spiritually. So, and then she went on to say that if he had actually tried to get to know her, what have you been doing these last few years? What have you been up to? Maybe take her out. Maybe spend time with her without even talking about sex.
Put some effort
and
in.
Just getting to know her and just building some kind of relationship. Because like she just said, I don't even know you no more. And that part of her definitely don't know you anymore. So, you know, for me, I would tell him before he had done that, maybe you should go down to where she's at, take her out if she want to go out, and then just get to know her again, reestablish the relationship before you just can think you can jump into bed with her. Because there's almost, and I'm not saying that he think of you this way, but that's almost like treating somebody like a hoe, saying, hey, yeah, let me just call you up and just get access to your body. It's demeaning. It's belittling.
Yeah, that's what I felt. I felt disrespected. Because who are you?
Especially if we're calling as friends, right?
Yeah.
And again, as a man, Mr. Chocolate, despite Mr. Chocolate being married, he's still a man. I know he understands what a beautiful woman look like. I know he understands temptation and how to control it and have deep discipline, right? But for some men, we get ruled by that part of our body, and a lot of times it's our downfall. But I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We can go to your question now.
Now you got me thinking what the question was. It was just basically what your approach is with in the streets, because Mr. Chocolate is married, and how you go about that, and you know, is the approach what's easier, you know, things of that nature is where we're coming from. And I asked that just to be transparent. I asked that because, again, I'm sure you heard when we said it seems like men go for what's easier than what, you know, it has substance and things of that nature. Again, seems not all men from our experiences. So let me just put that out there first. And to me, the soft man era, in my mind, I get what the definition is. For me, we've been there because we allow something like your penis to drive and motivate you. That to me makes you soft, because your penis is really not, I mean, I get it, we get horny, blah, 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 but everything about your penis, it just makes you a weak man. So I just was trying to understand, with you being out in the streets, how does that approach work for you?
So I was just recently in a relationship. The relationship is over now. Before then, I was celibate for 2 years because that's, you know, when my daughter was born. So I stayed focused on, as I told you guys earlier, being a single dad. I just feel like it would have been a waste of my time to try to build a relationship at that point in time. But even right now, I wouldn't entertain anything unless it was something that's going to be a relationship that's leading to marriage. I consider myself older. I'll be 34 this year. So, and I don't really have time to waste, right? And to me, it is a waste of time chasing physical desires, right? Because again, I'm not trying to like dirty the conversation, but as a man, if I was just wanted to bust a nut, all three of you women would suffice, right? But what happened when you want to actually build a bond with somebody? What happened when I want to have a representation for my daughter, and ones that where she can see her father and his wife, because her mother isn't in her life, work out issues, go through ups and downs, like I'm pretty sure Mr. Chocolate can speak to, because marriage is just like a road to success, in my opinion, right? It is, even though I'm not married, I believe it's ups and downs in it. I'm pretty sure
no
you
doubt,
wouldn't disagree.
no doubt.
And
Yeah.
you're going to need somebody who loves you, who care about you, who can speak nicely to you, and sometimes speak firmly to you, but not in a way that's demeaning, like Lady Tay said that she experienced from the individual. In those situations, that's the only way that I would really take a woman seriously, because just, you know, it just, I've been through a lot. I don't want to just go out and just date and just serial date. Not at this time of my life. 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I would have loved to be out in the streets dating, having as much sex as possible, and just living in my bandit ass ways. But absolutely not. Now I'm about to be 40. I would prefer to just to have one woman, get married, and enjoy her for the rest of my life. Otherwise, I would just enjoy my work and raising my kids, to be honest.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's good that you come on to say that, because a lot of times we don't hear that perspective. All we hear is the man whore, and you gotta, and it's just natural. You know, it's just like when the red pill stuff first started. You know, some of it made sense to me, but one thing I never really got, that I felt like was a big disservice, when they talked about how having to accept, you know, somebody cheating because somebody had, you know, money or whatever. You just had to accept it because that's just the way it is. And I feel like, man, a disciplined man is the kind of man that a woman should look for. You know, so talk about being celibate and, you know, stuff like that. You gotta have some discipline out here. That discipline. I know Sunflower said earlier, she said that men's penises oppress them. And I think that's true. If you don't have any discipline, your penis can definitely oppress you and hold you back in life. You see it all the time, especially if you can't be in control of where you putting your seed. The seed bearers out here just spreading seed everywhere. It's not a good situation.
Be careful with that thing.
Yeah.
Bring your energy all over the place.
Sometimes too, in my experiences, the reason why I prefer, especially now, to actually foster a relationship is because sex is potent, like a drug.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the right person wielding this type of power can change that. I can change a whole woman's perspective about me through sex. I know this, right? And
Absolutely.
So that's another reason why for me, I just don't do it, because it takes away, in my opinion, of you actually getting to know somebody, right? If you allow that to consume you. And a lot of times people do, especially men. Too many times, instead of us wanting to talk about something and actually figure out what the problem is and how we can actually fix it, let me just go ahead and just have sex. If I'm going through it, if I'm having a hard day, instead of me actually mentally figuring out what's going on with me, let's just have sex. And I've done that before. And like I said, yeah, maybe the guy who, to go back to the story that Tay told earlier, like, yeah, she's highly attractive, right? I'm not going to sexualize her here on a, you know, tonight. My point is this: whatever he was going through, he wanted to release that and use her to do it. And men, we do that all the time. It's not healthy, and in my experience, it doesn't make for a good sex life, because that has to be, in my opinion, consensual and mutually beneficial at all times. So men had to get their shit together. I'm the simp guy. I'm always gonna blame men. So
Amen.
So do you? Oh, and this is a funny one. So going kind of a little bit back to the actual definition of the soft guy era, not calling it that in this moment, about a woman taking care, or basically being the provider, because provision does not just have to be financial, even though it has been put in a box with that title. But my question is, do we believe that there is no time for a man to be soft with their woman? Let's put it like that: soft with their woman, provided for, and just kind of balancing the giving that that man does in the relationship? Is there no time for that, or is a man just always supposed to be on top of the giver and not the receiving?
No, I said that earlier. I definitely think there are times because they have this role and they lead so much and they literally wear the weight of the world on their shoulders. I think as women, it's our duty to create that space for them, even if they don't have it already. And you make sure that they do, because they need that. They need you. They need you to be that space for them, or either, be the facilitator of creating that space. Like sometimes he just wants you to get out of his way. And that's okay. Get out of his way. Shut up sometime. So a lot of times we do a lot of this because that's just what we want. And they're too nice to say, hey, baby, just give me a minute. Right. Like, be okay with communicating what you need, because how am I going to support you? That, to me, that's a part of me being submissive. How can I support you? How can I be what you need right now? And a lot of times, in my experience, men aren't comfortable saying what they need. So I just feel you got to hold them accountable with bringing it to you. And then you have to be able to comprehend it and execute exactly what they need. And if you can't, then find somebody like a professional that can, or just make it happen for them. But yeah, I think it's definitely spaces where men should be at least and could be vulnerable and have moments of weakness or whatever the case may be, because we tell them to be strong all the time, which is so unfair, and it's irresponsible of us, I think.
Yeah, and we also put the shoe on the other foot. How many times have we said as women, we're tired of hearing "be strong"? You're so strong.
Yeah, because nobody.
Yeah, I think the world is making a wonderful profit off of Black men and Black women going back and forth, being divided, thinking that we are enemies of one another instead of not colleagues. What do you mean that we're in this together, basically? And so now we're in this invisible war that's bringing us further and further apart. Where we disrespectful to one another, we are dismissive to one another, and we kind of keep each other under thumb versus the, hey, we can walk hand in hand and make this happen. I'm all for treating in a relationship your person with some softness sometimes. Allow them that environment, like you said, Tay, to be vulnerable, to feel special, to feel seen, to feel appreciated. That's not an issue. I think my issue is when softness turns into, I'm going to relinquish my manly accountabilities, but still want my manly rights. That's where it starts getting kind of iffy with me. And then, good book. And I also think it's bad for a woman to take advantage of a man who's trying to step up and be that person for you by taking those moments of softness and throwing it back and forth, because it happens.
I think we're letting the guys off the hook a little bit here. So for one, I think that, again, Mr. Chocolate, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that there has been plenty of times within your marriage when you have been completely vulnerable, probably even cried in front of your wife, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what men do. The thing is this, though, today, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Chocolate, because the ladies would hear, they won't understand because they're not men, but we are. When you put your private parts inside of a woman raw, are you not being vulnerable? Are you not being vulnerable to disease, et cetera, et cetera? That's just physical, vulnerable to sexual demons, et cetera, vulnerable to soul ties. But men are okay with being vulnerable with their penises because it gives them ego. I conquer miscommunication. I conquer Lady Tay. I conquer Black Pearl. I conquered her so good, I can call her 6 years later and feel like I can conquer her again because it had to be that good. She's still thinking about it. You're a fucking idiot, right? Right? You might be a narcissist, but we don't really use that word. I know it's thrown around a lot, but just those men exist. I'm just saying, I believe that men need to be vulnerable, right? I had a situation where I felt less than. I had a partner that made me feel less than. Right. She and it's not really her fault. Maybe this is just my interpretation of how she, did different things and said different things. But she made me feel less than. It wasn't recent. It was when I was younger. but I didn't speak about that for years. And the woman I dated after her, they pay for that.
Yeah.
When they shouldn't have to.
Common
They pay
thing.
for that. Exactly. Because now I'm not going to be open with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to have sex with you, right? I'm going to be vulnerable with you sexually to the core, but I'm not going to tell you when I'm hurting. I'm not going to tell you when I'm broke and I can't afford it. I'm going to make an excuse. I'm not going to tell you when I might disappoint you and you might have to wait another few months before we go to Las Vegas, before we go to Dubai, or whatever it is that you expected out of me. And this is the biggest thing right here, Mr. Chocolate. I'm too vulnerable. Sorry. I'm afraid to tell you that I failed and I might fail you. Right.
Right.
And even though I'm going to fail you, I still want you to love me.
All
So I
right.
lie to you and I hide my feelings and I smoke weed and I make love to you, but not making love to you. Y'all can feel it. You know the difference.
Down.
Right.
see.
Oh, the shutdowns is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's
And then ultimately,
interesting.
as black men, we harm
interesting.
ourselves.
It's very interesting to hear you say this, because at the end of the day, it's almost like it's a circle, right? So it's like it's a definite cycle that things are going on right now, where someone gets hurt, they decide that they're no longer going to be vulnerable, and they don't do it. They do it to protect themselves at the expense of the person that they're with. And it continues, and then that person does the same thing. Now, whether it be a man or a woman, whatever the case may be, but there's nothing more to me sad than a man who can't open up emotionally. That's a sad situation.
But you know what? On the flip side, the sexiest thing is when he does. Oh,
come on, girl. Come on, girl. You already know.
Real.
You already know, but again, it's like it's that thing where it's so sad, because it's like it's almost as if that part that was broken however long ago never gets healed, because they are almost afraid that you knowing that they have that point there will make them more weak. So instead, they put on more shit, and they put on more manliness and all this other foolishness, and it becomes a bone of contention in the relationship. And people don't understand, and it's like it's almost like it's a cycle. So I got hurt when I was 16. She broke my heart when I was 16, and now I can't talk to nobody, and now it just keeps on going. And now you are a 46-year-old man, and you still hold on to that hurt that is that happened when you were 16. Listen, if I held on to the hurt that I had when I was 16, I think I would implode. But because I'm a woman, I think I'm almost allowed to emote, right? And I'm allowed to talk to my friends and talk to my people and get this out of me at least in that way, so I don't have all of that built up. And it's sad, because not for nothing, like you said, nothing is more beautiful than a man who
like letting go,
has emotional intelligence and is able to literally tell you in a vulnerable way, listen, this is what I'm going through. Right. And it's like, well, shit, let's go. It's because one thing for certain and two things for sure. When a woman loves you, she's not just gonna hold you down.
Maybe
if you need somebody to pay for the meal because he forgot his card or whatever, that's not just gonna be the thing. What she's going to do, she's going to take whatever pain you have and she's going to hold it for you, and she's going to try to help you however she can to get you through it. And that comes from there's nothing better than that. Like you said, there's nothing better.
Like, what can I do?
What can I do? What do you want me to do for you?
What can I do?
Like if you stub your toe and somebody says, "Let me rub that for you," or you get physically hurt and somebody's willing to help you physically and help you out, you can say, "Oh my God!" But listen, that emotional pain, that emotional hurt, come on.
Sometimes you can't even do nothing. It's just important that you're there.
And you're listening, and you're not just hearing. You're not just
say, babe, anything you can do. Just be here.
You're hearing me, because then they feel seen, right? Because the scene, right? Somebody's feeling seen is like the best gift you could ever give. So
Yeah.
as much as that soft era, that soft guy era situation is going on and it's out there and people are, and we're making jokes about it, I think everybody needs to just get them. Come on, guys. Like everybody got to do better.
The soft man era. Okay.
Do better, guys.
That shit, because where the soft girls at? Hey.
Hey.
I would agree with miscommunication. I feel like those are the things that, like, I don't really need a woman to pay for my dinner or buy me liquor or buy weed and stuff like that. I can take care of myself. I would just prefer to have a genuine person that's going to be a part of my life. And if you want to be a part of my life, then just come correct, right? And at the very least, that just means you being your authentic self, right? And allowing me the space to be my authentic self, right? Like, even I think when you guys were talking about, I think that was you, Mr. Chocolate, who talked about the high value man saying that you can exercise options. That's how they would phrase it in this space.
Yeah.
Right. Men, high value men can exercise options when we know there's broke men cheating every single day.
Absolutely.
Right. They're exercising their options too. The thing is this, and unfortunately, the individual who coined that phrase was a Christian too. God rest his soul. The thing is this, men are selfish. Men love to dominate. It is what it is. That's why you will have a man who can be married to a woman, and that woman end up having sex with somebody else, and he would tell that man, yeah, like, I fucked your wife. We saw it in Biggie Smalls and Tupac, right? This is just to be something that we all know about, right? He could have said a million different things about Biggie, but he literally opened up the song with that, so you can understand the tone that we're about to have moving forward here. I'm disrespecting you to the highest of chord and doing nothing else but fulfilling my ego. That's all Tupac was doing in the moment. He could have, there was a million different ways that conflict could have been handled. But instead, you literally plot and bring this innocent woman into a situation just so you can later on betray her.
Yeah.
Again, for your ego. And again, God rest his soul as well as Christopher Wallace. But my whole point is, men, we do so many different things, and we only care about our egos instead of thinking about what's really good for us. It's not good for me to tell a woman to pay all my bills and be, to me, that's going to hinder me. I'm sorry, but that's the way I look at it. That's like you not raising your son the right way and telling him that, he can go out and have a woman pay for all his bills. He's going to be fucked up. Excuse my language. But you're going to hinder him. He needs to go out. Yeah, he's going to have to go out and learn how to be his own man before he can go out and tell a woman that he's ruling over her and presiding over her. And make no mistake, that's what that is. If you come home, miscommunication, you don't want to have sex with your husband, the men in this space, they're going to tell you that you have to. And if they're manosphere adjacent, Christian adjacent, Muslim adjacent, specifically the ones that practice Sharia's law, you're going to have no choice. Right?
Yeah, I mean, Christians too. I mean, the husband is over the wife. God is over the man, and the man is over the wife. If you believe that, that's taught that.
Biblical interpretation is not to be is very serious. I'll have to go and find it. Nay, maybe you can provide it. The Simp Angels are in the chat. Could you guys go provide me the Bible scripture that Otis used when he told his story? There's a young man. He's not young. He's actually older now. He used a Bible scripture to talk about how in his marriage, he admittedly, out of his own mouth, I don't want to use the word, but his wife said that she didn't want to have sex, and they ended up having sex anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
And
in the YouTube streets, they say grape, which is stupid.
Correct.
They say
Correct. We would call it graping or SA, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
He raped her, and she literally said that afterwards. She said, "I felt that way," but we had a conversation with him for 2 or 3 days on a different show where he explained that there was a Bible scripture that basically said what you said, and it said that when you get married, that your body belongs to your husband and his body belongs to the wife, but that doesn't really correlate to when she says no, she has to have sex with you, right? Married or not, she still should have full autonomy over her body, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, of course, if you care about your wife, you're not going to do that. I mean, come on. But I mean, that's a whole nother topic. I want to get in that topic at another night too, about how people misinterpret these doctrines. So, I'm getting back to that. We're gonna do that. But
yeah, I do feel like soft guy era, ultimately Black Pearl is small dick energy. That's the best way that I would explain it.
And small dick energy?
Yes, 100%. 100.
So we all agree? Good.
100%. Because trust me, what else could it be?
I don't feel like y'all really asking for much. I feel like the average woman wants the average man. Like, you guys probably don't all want a man that's making $1 million a year or $500,000 a year. I don't think any of you guys have that expectation here tonight. I just want somebody who can provide, protect, and ultimately not play games with y'all. Probably, right?
Well, also understanding that provision is not about your wallet alone. I mean, it's great to feel like, hey, if I need to, my man will take care of me. Of course, that's.
But can I trust you?
But that's the thing, because at the end of the day,
with you, am I in a safe space with you? Am I really protected? And when I say protected, not just my body, my emotions, my mind, spirit, that type of thing. I hear a lot of women and men who go into a relationship day one. You're gonna be my best friend. No, you need to build that.
Okay,
we're not entitled to that. That's not a checkbox thing to happen. I feel it's the same with a relationship. We're building, we're getting to know each other. We are two pieces or many pieces of a puzzle making a bigger thing. I say all that to say is when you have the soft guy era mind frame or small dick energy, which Daryl and I agree on, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about quick gratification. What can I get out of this? Me, and the ego is in full control of the whole situation, which really you cannot build many healthy things on a ego like that. So
are we body shaming men with small penises, guys?
No, it's a mentality. Small dick energy is a mentality.
Yes. Not at all.
You can literally have a big stupid one, and you can still have small D energy.
But baby,
I just want to clarify.
You are able 2 inches in and up. I'm just saying, is all you need.
For the small penis guys out there, we just want to make sure, hey, hang in there, brother.
Just to interrupt for 2 seconds, I think your answer right here that you're asking for, Daryl, is there
the Bible verse,
1 Corinthians 7, verse 3 through 5.
Well, you got assistants in the. I gotta get them.
Wherever I go, Simp Nation goes.
I'm inspired, bro. I gotta.
Just step your game up, Ty.
Gotta do better, man. Gotta do better. Thank you for inspiring me. I'm inspired. I gotta do better. I appreciate that.
Yeah, this was dope conversation.
Hey, shout out to what do you call them? Simp Nation?
Simp Angels. They made that name for themselves. I didn't
Simp Angels.
The Simp Angels.
Yeah.
Hey, can we get the
shout out to the Simp Angels? Yeah.
The Sunflower's been killing it. Nate.
Oh yeah, Sunflower is fantastic.
Hey, hit us up. Hey, jump on and talk to us sometimes. Simp Angels. I'd love to holler at y'all. Hey, let's do that.
Yeah, we would love that. We definitely support you guys. We love Coach Tay. We absolutely support everything that she does. And I would love to definitely come and be a part of you guys' show again. And I would definitely bring everybody who is supporting me as well, because that's what we do. And also, see if you need help with that, if you want to add like Nightbot and stuff like that, I can help with that stuff too. It's just a way to trigger the chat, and you can have links there for like your Cash App, merchandise, stuff like that.
We
Yeah,
gonna
cool,
talk
cool.
to you.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Love the
Of course.
collaboration.
And also that I could drop the link now. It's up to you guys if you want to add more people to the panel though. But that First
Ready.
Corinthians chapter 7 verses 3-5 says the husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but yields it to his wife. Do not deprive each other, except perhaps by mutual consent and for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer. So I think again, when you just read 3 and 4, it does say that the man has authority over his wife, etc., etc. But the very next verse says that there needs to be mutual consent, literally.
Okay, well, listen, I don't go
You
by
don't
that
dibble and
shit.
dabble in that
I
conversation.
don't go by that shit. No way. I was just saying I heard it, but for those who do, don't be graping people. How do you enjoy graping somebody anyway? How was that like? That's just-
Listen,
It just
you
don't seem
gotta
It's a
be a-
conversation to have. It's not
Yeah.
It's a men conversation. We have to. I don't think that's a conversation that we should even involve the ladies in, because it's an unpleasant one, right? And to me, that's a story about conquering. Again, men feel entitled to
Yeah.
everything, to conquering everything that God created, whether it's land, whether it's people. And some men will do it. They will take it upon themselves. To me, that's the same thing as a man who would take somebody's life for no reason, right?
Right.
But that's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
a power play.
So we definitely need to have more conversations like this, and we'd love to have you back, Daryl. And all the simp God angels, that's what they call simp angels.
Yes.
We would love to have you guys back on, have deep conversations, just tap into those things that we need to talk about, what we don't.
Keep it respectful, and it just we try not to. We could get a bunch of likes and views by acting a fool, but we don't do that shit here.
Nah, we got other places where we do that.
Yeah, there's a place for that, but it ain't here.
It ain't here. So, any final words about the soft guy era? And I'll start off with miscommunication.
Always starting with me.
Because you're like right there. I'm like,
collect my thoughts.
You be ready though.
I'm sorry.
All jokes aside, I feel as though, although the soft guy era might seem like a fad or even seem like a joke, let's be clear. We need to start treating each other the way we want to be treated. Yes. So at the end of the day, don't use the joke as a blueprint for what you want in a relationship, because I'm so sorry to tell you, that's not it, sir. Okay? Because a woman that will literally do the things that you want her to do in that respect is not a woman that I think that can be respected. And vice versa. I think that we need to stop treating each other like commodities and start treating each other like partners. And that's all it comes down to.
Nice. Tay.
Man, okay. On the soft girl era. Yeah, soft man era. Yeah, y'all just did that. Like, just do away with it, because that's not what real women want. Like, we just want you to be able to take care of yourself. I know it started out as a joke, but we're not laughing.
It's funny.
Okay, it's not funny. It's not cute at all. Like, we want a man's man. Okay, a traditional one. You ain't got to necessarily have a little ab. It's fine. You ain't got to make 6 figures. Just be able to take care of yourself, and don't expect us to be able to do it for you. Now, we can help and we can aid if we get there. We building together, but dating wise, have your shit together, and don't be soft when it comes to expecting a woman to take care of you. But be vulnerable though, because we like that.
That part, yes, we down.
That's sexy, but don't be soft. I'm done.
Daryl, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I do. I would like to end the night by saying, first of all, thank you guys for having this conversation with me. It was absolutely splendid. I'm going to enjoy some wine and weed now maybe watch a good movie, right? But as far as the topic, I would like to send the men this message. You dusty, derelict bandits need to get your shit together and stop having the expectation that Usher did in the song Trading Places. A lot of you men want to be bad bitches, and unfortunately, you're not. You're men, and you need to act like men and try your best to behave as men. Unfortunately, you will not be getting any grade A punani. With that being said,
Let me clutch my pearls, my imaginary pearl.
Hey, shit.
I don't have not one motherfucking thing to say after that.
Hey.
I'm gonna let Mr. Chocolate do what he does at the end of the show. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Hey, look. Hey, I don't wear shoes that don't fit me, and them shoes do not fit me. Them shoes
okay.
So, hey, so the man he was talking about,
get it together.
Hey, I locked my queen down years ago. We've been great ever since. So
that part.
I don't know what y'all. Hey, look, them streets look terrible to me, man. I'll be out here looking out the window. Oh my God, what are they doing out there? It's the apocalypse out here.
Oh, wow.
Hey, man. Hey,
well,
but hey, before
manifest some of that lockdown for these ladies who was Tay was showing her finger and
rubbing the skin off that thing, man.
I was like, okay.
Hey, but look, man. Hey, if y'all are still watching and you hadn't hit the like button, please go ahead and do that on your way out. I meant to mention this earlier. Please help us out. We just a little channel trying to do our thing. Help us out. Hit the like button, and because YouTube and Black creators, they how they do. So hit that like button, share, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, we'll greatly appreciate it. We're gonna keep putting out some good content, man. Nice, respectful, no foolishness. Have the conversation, man. And so subscribe, like, share, helps us out. And appreciate everybody coming out. Hey, Sim God, we gotta talk some more. We gotta we gotta do this again. All right. So you've been part of the experience. With experience, it's always good. We holler at y'all next time. Peace.
Bye.